Life's kind of like shopping at a supermarket. You go through with your basket and you take a whole lot of stuff up to the cash register. And you realize you can't afford it all, so you go back and you put out what you really don't need. And you end up just getting what you need. At least it's certainly that way for most of us now. And the analogy falls down in a lot of respects, but it points out the fact that as we go through life, and I say we, I'm speaking of myself, as I go through life, I manage to pick up habits or information or some sort of expertise. And I discard what I don't need and I carry what I need. And I think that accumulation of skills and of beliefs is something that we pick up going through experiences or going through institutions. And we take the best with us and tend to leave the worst behind. Hopefully we do anyway. Those people that carry around all their bad experiences all the time, they're tough to be around because it's a great weight to carry. So I grew up in the 60s. I was born in 45, which makes me the first of the boomies. And I think in the 60s, when I was about 18, 19, 20, this whole era was starting to flower. And in 1970, at the age of 24, I was right smack in the middle of that movement and loved it. And I think from that, I have taken the communal aspect and the social joy of something new and positive that we all experienced, and brought that through the 70s, through the 80s, and I think I still have that with me now. That's specific to that era. Then in the 80s, I think I've discovered that I was as selfish as an individual as anyone else around me, too, and was able to kind of pare that down. At least I hope I have. But, there are some that don't condone my actions, but I'm a pack rat, so I've got lots of stuff around me physically. Perhaps I'm the same way mentally or emotionally as well, where I may be carrying all of that stuff with me. It doesn't get in my way, at least that I'm aware of. But you never know. Sometimes I get angry and I don't know why, so maybe there's something I'm carrying that I should know.
Julie, you can't be sure love is around you, and fooling no one but you can just leave you floundering. How can you rely on those that say you're their favorite whenever you're there? Some come to see you and some are just coming to savor it. You're just like a love that comes and goes with the weather, and like the weather you're always there, sometimes stormy, sometimes fair. And oh, how I miss you when times go bad. You're the best friend I've had. Julie, you can't have love the way that you want it. You'll even dance love around till you got it. How can you rely on those that sell you their favors? It's the same for me. It came back demanding more of the favors you gave them. You're just like a love that comes and goes with the weather, and like the weather you're day to day, come to visit but never stay. Whoa, how I miss you when times go bad, 'cause you're the best friend I've had. I can feel the beat of your heart against mine. How real in the heat as we entwine. If just for a moment it's purely touch and go, why does man miss woman so? Hey, I just don't know. like love that comes and goes with the weather. And like the weather you tantalize, every day there's some new surprise. Oh, how I miss you when times go bad, 'cause you're the best friend I have had.
I believe it was August 6th of 1985. It was the 40th anniversary of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And it was the first shadow day that had been held around the world. And people were painting shadows on sidewalks out of chalk and whatnot, and obviously removable paints, to commemorate those who had lost their lives during the atomic bombs. And we on Salt Spring have a very active peace community, Salt Spring Island being the island I live on off the west coast. And as a community, we wanted to do something, but we don't have any sidewalks there, and so we couldn't do the shadow thing. So we had our own celebration in the park. Some dancers did interpretive dance, and some poets read their prose and their poetry. And a bunch of us songwriters put pen to paper and came up with tunes. I wrote that song, When Peace Came to the Valley, signifying real peace coming to us, and not just the rhetorical peace where warring nations sit down and talk to each other for a while and the whole complex keeps going, but when the military-industrial complex breaks down and gets applied to social services or education or whatever, and we have a whole transformation in society. That's what that song is about, because there'll be some major fissures in the system, or cracks in the system, when that happens. And so that's what the song is talking about. It's talking about the traditional church, not the contemporary or the loving church, but the old fire and brimstone thing, and the old militaristic, paternal kind of a commandant scoffing. That's where that verse came from. So I dealt with the different verses as it went through, and specifically towards real peace coming and transforming our society globally.
When peace came to the valley, an old man shook his head. He didn't know too much about it. There was only what he'd read. He didn't know too much about it. There was only what he'd read. Yes, and when peace came to the valley, the commandant just scoffed. He said, my coup will be so simple, with the underbelly soft. He said, my coup will be so simple, with the underbelly soft. Yes, and when peace came to the valley, you know the church was less than pleased, 'cause the fear of God and the threat of war had kept people on their knees. Yeah, the fear of God and the threat of war had kept people on their knees. When peace came to the valley, when peace came to the valley, and when peace came to the valley, you know the air was fresh and clean. There was a light on the horizon that the folks had never seen. There was a light on the horizon that the folks had never seen. So when peace comes to our valley, let's be prepared for something new, because all present attitudes will be up for review.